there isn't often where I go into an episode and I come out of it going, I'm genuinely speechless. Like, I don't know what to say about this one. I don't know where to start. Uh, my mind is just filled with all of the things that happened in that one. I liked it. I think it's that meme of Daniel Craig saying it makes no sense, compels me though. Like, I was gripped throughout. Do not get me wrong. Okay, let me go chronologically. So the Doctor and Ruby land on this rock hilltop thing in Wales. They find some sort of ancient sort of witchcrafty thingy, and the Doctor steps on it, disappears, and it causes this creature known as Mad Jack in the episode to keep following Ruby around. And anytime anyone confronts it, they run away in fear and they won't talk to Ruby afterwards. You know, they won't talk to the person who told them about Mad Jack. And yeah, basically, the episode is a Ruby focused episode going throughout her life. And basically, yeah, she tries to get help from her mum. She runs away. She tries to get help from Kate Lethbridge Stewart. She runs away along with the rest of the unit. And over time, she sort of sees this political figure rising to power known as Roger Ap William, who is set on using nukes to destroy the world via Great Britain. So she basically infiltrates his operation with the express goal of, oh, I know what this is all for now. It's to get rid of this guy. So she basically decides, all right, I'm going to infiltrate his campaign and I'm going to use 73 Yards Lady to get rid of this guy. So she basically, because she knows she has to be exactly 73 yards away from her, she positions herself just so he sees the woman, gets scared and runs away, and therefore resigns as Prime Minister. And then it basically turns into a whole thing of like, so Ruby thinks, okay, job done. Can life go back to normal now? But it doesn't. Her life continues. She grows into old age before eventually, right on her deathbed, confronting who we see as Mad Jack. And it turns out she becomes Mad Jack and she warns her past self about the circle, and so the Doctor doesn't break it. I have absolutely no idea what to make of this episode beyond that. I thought the political stuff was very good. It felt very years and years. I enjoyed that stuff a lot. I think a lot of it felt very. If you remember that episode, The Curse of Clyde Langer of Sarah Jane Adventures, it felt very that, and that's not a bad thing. Sorry, I've got a bit of a indigestion. It also reminded me, it was a very Torchwood feeling episode. A lot of the Welsh references very much kind of like hit with me in a way of like, oh, like, you know, stuff like, even stuff like Great Western Railway and stuff like that, and just little things like that. I was like, oh, that's how where I go on to get to London and all of that sort of stuff. And Cardiff City Stadium being the centre of his political broadcast as a Welsh guy, which I thought was brilliant. Like the fact that he was becoming Prime Minister, but still wanted to host it in Cardiff. Very fun. Yeah, beyond that, I am struggling to really grasp what it was I just watched. I enjoyed it. I was captivated by it. I thought the villain was fantastic. If any of you had any trickster theories, she very much, Mad Jack, who turns out to be Ruby, very much has that kind of flavour to it. Again, Curse of Clyde Langer being another example. It's one of those types of episodes. It also weirdly felt very Torchwoody to me, which is not a bad thing. I love Torchwood. Yeah. I think, I don't know, I'm really struggling. I'm not going to say I disliked it, because I didn't. I was captivated and I was watching it throughout. But I'm already seeing people say, you know, best of the era, best of the series, and I'm just kind of sat here like, how did you guys make heads nor tails of that? I'm still sat here trying to comprehend all of it. I'm trying to think what else there was to say. Oh yeah, we see Susan Twist early on as a hiker. She runs away. So that's another for your Susan Twist tally, if you're keeping track. It also snows, but interestingly, after a while it stops snowing. When she grows older, it doesn't snow. And there was this really heartbreaking line where after the mum abandons her because she runs away in fear of Mad Jack, she basically says, "Well, you're not my real child, are you?" And I was like, "Oh my god, that's rough." And that's when we see the snow. So I'm thinking, like, the only way she learns about her lineage, the only way the snow appears is if we eventually find out what her lineage is. And I suppose by that not happening in this timeline, that stops the snow. Just a thought. Because obviously it's got to be connected to somebody on the night of her birth, and I suppose if everyone who can give indications as to what the night of her birth was is has run away in fear or is gone, that can't happen. Random thought. Yeah, I'm sort of sat here. I've never been more like kind of. Normally, when I come out of an episode, obviously it'll take me a couple of watches to really feel it, and I think this will be the case with this one. But normally, like with Boom, I could say pretty definitively and quickly, "Oh yeah, that was a fantastic episode." Devil's Call, I could say, "Oh, I really enjoyed that. It was great, like a fun episode." Space Babies, decent start. This, I have no idea. It could, I'm not going to say again. I don't think it's bad, but I'm sort of sat here like, I don't know what it is. Russell had said it's one of the best things he's ever written, and I'd certainly say it's one of the most experimental. I'll give it that. If people want to say, "Oh, well, this era it's just RTD1 again." I mean, I feel like you've got this episode that feels so. Obviously, as I said, there's similarities to things like Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures, but it feels very much its own thing, its own identity, which is good. I just don't know fully if I grasped what the identity was. I do wonder if maybe it would have benefited from slightly longer runtime, because the ending where we find out that Magic is Ruby, I was sort of sat there like, "Oh, okay." Like, it was a cool twist, but I kind of wish that had been signposted a little bit more, maybe. Perhaps. Maybe that's just me. One thing I will say, I haven't really talked about the performances yet. I really like Roger William, first of all. I thought he was really good in this role. I think the name of the actor, that was the name of the character. The name of the actor is Aaron Barnard. He was really good. This was the showcase for Millie, though. If you couldn't tell already, the Doctor is barely in this one. And I think Ruby is, like, I've gotten a lot more of a feel for her now. She really gets taken out of her comfort zone in quite a few ways, but has that drive to do the right thing ultimately, which I really liked. She has a feeling of somewhat loneliness, but also a sense of not wanting that to define her family. So that was all good. I thought for a character piece for Ruby, this was very good. I thought the villain was strong, the concept was cool. Beyond that, I just have nothing else to really add. I enjoyed the political aspects. I think I would have liked to see more of that. I guess my criticism, again, would be maybe longer than 45 minutes, maybe a two-parter, where part one is the initial mystery, and we go to, so part one ends with him just about to become Prime Minister or something. Part two is this kind of, it's only 10 minutes to nuclear Armageddon or something, and that is what resolves the whole Mad Jack situation. I don't know. I'm wondering if it needed a bit more time. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think it's going to need a rewatch. It was good. I still think overall I preferred Boom, probably, but this is by no means a bad episode at all. I think it's just one that I'm going to need time to acclimatise to. I thought the tone of it was really cool, though. Trying to think what else. Music was good. I liked how it looked visually, like a lot of the scenes and kind of the Dutch camera angles for the horror-y moments and all that stuff was great. As I said, the Welsh jokes, very, very fun. I felt like I kind of feel the similar way when I'm watching Torchwood, where I kind of feel like I know the people in the episode. I don't, but you kind of feel that because they're similar to people you would know in your life, and I got that. It was a good episode overall. You can tell that Russell is a Welshie. You could just tell, just from the way he writes Welsh people, you could just tell that's where his heart lay. You could just sort of tell. Beyond that, though, yeah, it was good. I think I enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm gonna need a rewatch. I think that's where I'm ending it on. I did think it was interesting that we do get a bit of years from years. The Russia Civil War in 2030 and the cost of living still happening in 2046. So that's something to look forward to. Also, this political satire was incredibly inaccurate because when he gives his speeches, he doesn't do them in the pouring rain. So that's incredibly unrealistic for a politician to do. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this episode. What were your thoughts on 73 yards? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like, subscribe if you're new. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you later. As you can already tell, it's almost 1 a.m. and I'm still here, rambling. Goodbye!